Belarus to therapy we go, and we're going to be joined by our second guest. And it turns out that therapy is not just for the rich and famous. We all have to cope with stress at some point in our lives, and some of us handle it well, and some of us don't. Steve Margeotes from the Main Street Counseling Center in West Orange, New Jersey, is here to join and talk to us about the benefits of therapy. And thank you so much for joining us, Steve.
Thank you.
All right, let's talk about why therapy can be so important. And you were telling me earlier that you're actually busier than ever before. Why is that?
I think more people are having a difficult time coping with the stressors they have in everyday life.
And I know that we were also talking earlier about divorce, and the divorce rates are up, and the economy is bad. So are you seeing more people?
We're seeing more people than ever before. Right now, we're close to between 250 and 300 people a week coming in for divorce, loss of jobs, foreclosure, a variety of things.
Well, let's talk about some of the challenges. And when do you know if you need therapy?
I would suggest if you think your life is in control. If it's not, if you think things are unmanageable, I don't think it hurts at all to go talk to somebody and get a perspective from the outside.
Well, how is talking, sometimes you can talk to your friends. How is talking to a therapist different from talking to a friend?
I think when you're talking to a friend, you got to be careful that it's like, well, if I was in your situation, this is what I would do. You're not looking actually for advice as much as a perspective and an interpretation of what you're going through. I think the other benefit is when you're in therapy, you're not competing with anything else. It's two people in the room. No cell phones, no TVs, no friends, no nothing. Just the two of you listening to your agenda.
So you're looking for an outside perspective, but are you necessarily looking for an answer?
No, not really an answer. As much as what motivates me to cope the way I do, what motivates me not to cope different ways. You're looking for a perspective on your behavior, and you're looking for an idea of how you proceed, and you're taking a look at your judgment.
So if you've never seen somebody, how do you pick out a therapist? I mean, how do you know if one therapist is better than the other?
I would do a couple things. I would ask for a referral. I would ask around. I would see someone who had success with a therapist. I wouldn't go in blindly. I would shop around. And then I would trust yourself. If you go see a therapist and you feel like there's a good connection and there's a good chemistry, stay with the person. If you do not, leave and look for someone else.
Okay, just like, I guess, a good doctor.
Absolutely.
Okay. All right, well, let's talk about the counseling process as it starts. So you find your therapist. Do you go once a week? Do you go twice a week? And let's talk about insurance as well.
Okay. I would leave that to the two of us. Do you want to go once a week, twice a week? Insurance is a key, unfortunately, for a lot of clients who are coming in. I think the key is if you could find a meeting between a place that has a sliding scale fee, as well as whether or not insurance will take it.
Okay. I want to also talk about what are say the warning signs? If you feel like you said out of control, but what does that mean? If you're sleeping, if you're, how do you know if you really could benefit from therapy?
Crying uncontrollably, not wanting to get out of bed in the morning.
Okay.
Not handling your responsibilities, whether that's in work or in parenting or managing your house. If there's such a loss of energy that you just can't do what you need to do, and your life is out of control, it might not be a bad idea to take a look at someone.
Does it necessarily have to be that drastic?
No, it doesn't. But I think you can't minimize what you're going through. I think there are certain levels of trauma that everybody goes through, and I wouldn't minimize the damage of whatever the experience is, whether it's a loss of job or divorce. You can't rationalize what has happened to you. What has happened to you has happened to you.
What if you notice, say, a friend might be having a problem or a family member? How do you go about recommending that they should seek counseling?
Gently.
Okay.
But I would do it. Just from my perspective, from interacting with you over the last couple of months, this is what I'm seeing. There's a change in behavior. You're withdrawing, which is a common occurrence, that you're withdrawing socially. You're not as active. You're not returning phone calls. We're not getting together like we used to get together. Observe their behavior. Now, it's your call to go see someone, but this is what I'm seeing from the outside.
And, we talked about how there's a lot more adults seeking therapy because of the higher divorce rates and, of course, the economy. But what about children?
More than ever at Main Street.
Really?
We're seeing them as young as 4 years old, because the key is once they start hitting school and they start interacting with a larger social group, then If it's not safe at home, it's going to be a lot more difficult to deal with what's going on in school. So we're seeing that there's a correlation that once the school year starts, a lot more kids are being referred for therapy.
And I think that we also want to stress that there is absolutely no shame in seeking therapy.
No. Things are better than ever. I think we've come a long way over the last 30, 40 years that it's okay to talk to someone. And I think that therapy cannot hurt the process. You know, you're trying to talk, and talking always helps.
And why, I mean, we were talking, and it's so nice to talk right here, but well, you talk about the benefits of talking, but why, does it validate you? How does that work?
It does validate you. You know, it makes the situation you're going through real. You have so many thoughts in your head and so many struggles. Should I do this? Should I do that? What's the right thing to do? When you say it, it becomes real. And I think that's important to validate what you're going through, including the struggles of coping with this situation, whatever the trauma is.
Oh, all very good stuff. Thank you so much, Dr. Steve Margeotes. Wonderful to talk to you. Thank you for joining us here at Ebru today.
Thank you very much.